What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex Yu, and you're watching the Marvel edition of the Ragin Nation show. This is just Webster's. We're talking about all things matter to me in the world of Marvel films. This is episode number 131, and in this episode, we got to talk about what's going on with the X-Men universe from 20th Century Fox. Well, first of all, the big deal that's going on right now is Logan. Logan will be out soon. I haven't got my tickets, but I will get them soon. And it's got a lot of positive buzz, 96% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a lot of people are saying that it is the best film in the X-Men universe. And I am really, really, really pumped. What's very disappointing is that this is going to be Hugh Jackman's last outing as Wolverine. And a lot of people are wondering, is that really going to be his last film? But he keeps on saying that it's his last film. Now, for some reason, I would rather believe him saying that it's his last time as Wolverine than Michael Bay saying that it's his last Transformers film. I actually believe Hugh Jackman more. After all, he has been playing the character for 17 years now, since X-Men first came out in 2000. Anyways, so let's just read what he has to say, and maybe you can be the judge of if he's really going to say that he's completely done. He says, "The character will go on. Someone else will play it for sure. Unless Daniel Day-Lewis plays him and wins an Oscar, then I might have a little problem." Now, when asked if he was really, really sure about quitting the character for good, he said, "When I had the script, I was like, yes. And when I was shooting the movie, yes. As I sit here today, yes. God knows how I'll feel in 3 years, but right now, absolutely." So it really sounds like that he's done with the character, which is really, really unfortunate. It will be sad when I watch Logan, and then I'll be like, oh man, that was so awesome, and I'm so sad to see that he's done for good. But there was all this talk about, especially Ryan Reynolds wanting Hugh Jackman to be a part of a Deadpool Wolverine crossover. After all, they have been going the R-rated route with these comic book films from 20th Century Fox. Deadpool is R-rated, Wolverine, or rather Logan, is R-rated, so they could really step into that direction. Now, when commenting about whether or not he's going to appear in a Deadpool crossover, he said, "That's probably bad timing because I love Ryan Reynolds and I love Deadpool, but I knew I was out and couldn't have made this movie if I was questioning if I was out. I was a pain in the ass for a lot of people with this movie because it mattered so much to me. Even when we started writing this, and even when I asked James Mangold to come on board, I said, dude, I don't know if I'm going to make it unless it's exactly what I want. I prefer not to do it. I couldn't live with it, so this is it." So really, it really does sound like he's done, and that's too bad. So what the heck is going on with the rest of the X-Men universe? After all, it has to go on. Well, we are getting Deadpool 2. Ryan Reynolds is working hard at that. He's going to be doing a little bit of the... he'll be having his input on the script. David Leitch, who's one of the directors for John Wick, is directing. And now we have... a writer, rather. I actually thought that the original writers, Gary Wernick and Rhett Reese, were writing it, but apparently Drew Goddard is working on the Deadpool script, which is even better, actually. I mean, well, I wouldn't say that it's better, but that's something I'm excited about. Drew Goddard is a really good writer. He wrote Cabin in the Woods, or he directed and wrote Cabin in the Woods, and that was a movie that was just surprisingly good. I don't know if you guys liked it, but I liked it a lot. So I wonder what he's going to bring to the table, and I'm pretty excited to see something fresh because, I mean, we got John Wick director David Leitch, we got Drew Goddard working on the script. This could be a sequel that's even better than the first one. So I'm really, really excited about that. What else is going on? Of course, there's questions about the X-Men film, the X-Men sequel. What's happening after X-Men Apocalypse? I guess not a lot of people are really talking about it because X-Men Apocalypse was a bit of a letdown, but the story must go on. They said that the X-Men First Class was supposed to take place in the 60s, and then you have Days of Future Past that takes place in the 70s, and then Apocalypse takes place in the 80s, and then Simon Kinberg confirmed that the next X-Men movie will be set in the 90s. Now, he said this back in 2016. Now, fast forward to now, let's find out what is really going on. Well, Sophie Turner confirmed that the new X-Men movie begins shooting this year. She said, "We're about to start shooting the next X-Men. We've just finished shooting season 7 of Game of Thrones, and I've got a couple of movies to do before X-Men starts, and then we go to season 8. So X-Men is, like, the sequel is going to be happening this year. They're going to be filming it this year. And this is something that came out of nowhere, because I thought there would be way more talks about about the production of another X-Men film, or at least like talks about where the story is going to go before we even get a sequel. So I don't know what's going on with that, but it turns out that it's really happening, and it looks like the ball is rolling, because James McAvoy actually hinted at an X-Men return this summer, and this is really, really happening. And apparently the next X-Men film is going to be called XMen Supernova. And that's supposed to be, of course, taking place 10 years after the events of Apocalypse. And by that time, you know, I think they're ready to tell the Dark Phoenix saga. So, I mean, the title already suggests that it's going to be Dark Phoenix saga. So that already gives you a bit of a hint at what's going to happen. He posted this photo with on his Instagram with of course writer-producer Simon Kinberg and Patrick Stewart, who we all know plays Professor X. So this is really happening. The ball is rolling. They're having meetings together, and they're discussing what's really going to happen, and it looks like it is in fact happening. As a matter of fact, they got the writer Simon Kinberg, but looks like the next move is to have Simon Kinberg as the director. And I couldn't think of I cannot think of any other person to be involved better than Simon Kinberg. Thing is that Simon Kinberg, like, he hasn't done a whole lot of directing, if at all. I didn't check his IMDb stats, but it looked like he's more of a writer-producer. But if he's going to be directing, you know, I have confidence in him just because he really knows the X-Men universe. He knows the characters, and I think he can really, if he has the right vision, I think that he could really give us the movie that we should have gotten with Apocalypse. So if that is really happening, that's something to, I think that's something to have, not high hopes for, at least be hopeful about. Okay, so it's possible Simon Kinberg could really be directing. It's under negotiations. Moving on. Let's talk about X-Force. Of course, X-Force is going to follow after Deadpool 2. And, well, Ryan Reynolds will be co-writing, but it looks like they already have a director, Joe Carnahan, a very, very busy man. Joe Carnahan is involved with directing Bad Boys 3. He's writing and director a Raid remake film with Frank Grillo. He just finished a draft for an R-rated draft for the Uncharted video game adaptation movie. Like, he's a really, really busy man, and it turns out that he's gonna be directing X-Force. That's gonna be huge, and it looks like 20th Century Fox is really going in that R-rated direction. Deadpool, Logan, Deadpool 2, X-Force, and I think this is a great direction for them. Now, that's not the only thing that is happening. Of course, going back to talking about Logan, Logan is obviously a huge deal right now, but James Mangold and Hugh Jackman really had an excellent time working on Logan, and apparently James Mangold wants to make an X23 film, and he says he will work with Hugh Jackman again. He was quoted saying that, "I definitely know that Hugh and I will work together again, but another thing is that he's interested in making an X23 solo film." Now, here's the quote that he said: "I think Daphne, the actress who played X23, Laura Kinney, is incredible in the film, and I would love to see another film about the character, and that is certainly something I'd be involved in. For me, that was one of the big additions I brought to the table, this decision to try to make the film about family and try to insert Laura and the pressures that would put, and the idea about Charles Ailing." So I haven't seen the film yet, obviously, but it looks like it's going to be a breakout performance. And also, the character is just coming into the story, and there's so much more for her to develop and grow with the X-Men universe. So, man, that is really, really exciting. I have high hopes for Logan, and it's just the beginning of something that could be really, really big, especially since they already are introducing the X23 character, and it's really going to expand the universe. So, really exciting stuff. Hey, what do you guys think about all of that? And do you really believe that Hugh Jackman is done with the character? Let me know in the comments section below. I would love to see that Deadpool Wolverine crossover. Anyways, I'm done talking about this. I'm glad that there's finally some news about what's going on in the X-Men universe. So let me know your thoughts about it. As always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, the Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter, Ragin Nation. My name is Alex. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. John Wick, the very first film, they pull the cameras back. They let the actors do their thing, and we get to see amazing, amazing carnage.